विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। This is a nice one to begin with. Vedanta's core teaching is self-realization and the knowledge of Satchidananda. Does that make us self-absorbed and unfit for society? Vis-a-vis other religions that are more community-based. It all depends on where you place the self. Yeah. We are so oriented to placing the self where? Body, mind, senses, few of my loved ones, and then few other objects, people, situation, relationships. That is the self. And that's what we work for. That is where the heart is. That is where the I is solely based. And seen from this angle, if that is indeed the self, and I'm spending the time, what? Doing what? Let's see, what am I doing here? So, yeah, the knowledge of Satchidananda. So then the knowledge of Satchidananda will be a selfish pursuit. Knowledge of Satchidananda can never be a selfish pursuit, but if the self is defined as just this body, mind, sense complex, so that along with this body, mind, sense complex in samsara I can have a little bit of respite, then it will be seen as selfish. A lot of people do not know Vedanta. That's okay. We all also did not know until we came here. But they also do not want to know Vedanta. That's also okay. It's anybody's choice. Let them not know Vedanta. But they don't want you to know Vedanta. Three things, okay? Yeah. They do not know Vedanta, number one. They do not want to know Vedanta, number two. And what's number three? They don't want you to also know Vedanta because somewhere inside they know the power of this. They know the power of this. They know how transformative it is. Then why don't they want me to be transformed? Because they are afraid. They are afraid that transformation means something it doesn't. Transformation means abandonment. This is what they think. Transformation means I'll be left alone. I don't have, anything. And I won't have you. You will be gone somewhere with your new ashram friends. Sitting and singing somewhere you will be. That is the fear. The fear is that the people who study Vedanta are unfit for society, as though they are fit for society. I mean, really, yeah. Are they fit for society? We have to ask that first. And what does fit for society means? Reproducing samsara? Is that fit for society? And then what else? What else would we do? Just keeping on attending parties and going to malls? You know the spelling of mall now. Yeah. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Is that fit for society? What is it that's fit for society? We have to see. And here it becomes very clear that this lifestyle of going within, looking within, constitutes a certain break from business as usual. It has to constitute a break. Otherwise, how can you just be just exactly how samsara made you and then come here and reenact the same things? What's the point? You might as well go back to where you came from. So something has to change. You know that. They also know that. And in this change, what changes is not fundamentally who you are. It's not one's nature. It is what changes is that which is utterly dispensable. What changes is how we handle raga and dvesha, strong preferences, strong prejudices. What changes is the angular areas of the personality. That is what undergoes a change. All the sharp edges of the personality which cause one to lash out, which cause one to get angry, which cause one to withdraw for no reason, which cause one to be avoidant, which cause one to be aggressive, all these they get smoothed over in the light of this knowledge by letting go of the root cause which makes one a like an atom bomb, a reactive person, a constantly reactive person. This is what changes. And that's actually a very, very beautiful thing. It's like the stone under the river. And the undercurrents of the river take away the angular, they work on the stone, take away the angular areas, all the sharp, jagged edges. And there are special divers who go to the bottom of the river and bring out what? Shivalinga, Narmadeshwara. And if a stone can change, what to talk of the conscious being? An inert stone can become smooth here also. So we are not trying to lose the person, we are trying to lose the personality. That is not even the personality, but the kind of personality that is an impediment to this knowledge. The reactive personality drowned in raga dvesha, that is what we are trying to lose. That doesn't make you unfit for society. In fact, you are more fit for society than anyone else. Why? Because you don't have to be dealt with. People love a person who doesn't have to be dealt with. Even Bhagavan loves a person who has moksha because so much workload Bhagavans have. Yeah, where to send this fellow, where to send her, where to send him, what to do with him. He has so much papa, a little bit of punya, where to send this fellow. And she has this complex picture. What to do with her, what to do with him. They don't have to deal with that. Khata closed. The account book of the jiva is closed. There is nothing to deal with. And people love those who don't need to be dealt with. What do you mean dealt with? People love people around whom they don't have to walk on the shells of the egg. Eggshell walk. Afraid, like, oh my God, they may get upset. Oh my God, they may do something. People love such people. That's why Mahatmas are very popular. And so, studying Vedanta does not make you unfit for society. If by society you mean samsara, yes, studying Vedanta will definitely make you unfit for samsara. You are not supposed to be there in samsara. That's why you got out. Of course, even the people who are in samsara are not fit to be there. They are also mumukshus, jignasus. They maybe not jignasus, they are mumukshus, but they don't know it. And another interpretation we can take with unfit for society means you are not a contributor anymore. What does the What does the person who keeps going to ashram do? Lose the job. And then what else? Or leave the job and take up another job several times a year. Okay? And then some people's lifestyle is very nice. So for 4 months or 6 months, they go work. They teach yoga, they teach all kinds of things. And then the rest of the time, they come back to the ashram to take courses. So this way, they take care of themselves and they just do that. And then the people around have this idea: you're wasting your education. You're wasting your education. Your education is wasted because, look, we made you study all this, and what are you doing? You are singing bhajans in the ashram. What's wrong with you? So people's perception is you should be a doer. And they will say, the parents will say, the elders will say, we raised you to be a doer. Do something with your life. I am doing something with my life. I'm getting enlightened. That what enlightenment? There is no such thing. Do something meaningful with your life. Okay, what is meaningful? You have to work really, really hard. You have to become somebody. You have to have a name. I don't care about that. Well, we do. So you see, there is this pull. There is this pull. So even the person leaving samsara has a sense of guilt and shame. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, what about them? What about them? What about them? And then one tries to overcompensate and make sure everybody is okay. Everybody will not be okay. And people used to ask, even, people used to ask all of us. So, especially if they see somebody who's not at the, fag end of their lives, who's still walking, talking, there several people in this very ashram. They will come and say, do you have any hidden disability that we don't know about? No. Are you mentally not quite there? No, as far as I know, I'm okay. Meaning, do you have depression or something that prevents you from working? I say, no, I'm okay. Then what gives you the right to live off of people? Openly, many of us have been asked that. We just have to smile. Meaning, you have no right to depend on people because you are able bodied and you're taking away what could be given as charity to disabled people. And they think it's a very convincing argument. It's not a convincing argument because it's not that anybody is taking away from anything from anyone. And secondly, it's a lifestyle sanctioned by the same Veda they keep quoting all the time. Same Veda sanctions this lifestyle, which they refuse to accept because there is a fear. And also, the fear is not only of losing the person who has come to Vedanta, losing in the sense of they will just go away and they won't love them anymore, but there is a fear that they have gone this way, that means this is the right thing to do. I am not ready for it. So, therefore, what's the best thing to do? Pull them back. Pull them back. And so, that is what? Unfit for society means what, So, so we have to see that. It's not a selfish pursuit, it's a pursuit centered on the self. And if you define the self as the owner of this body, mind, sense complex, then everything is just reproducing samsara. But if the self is the self of all, and you are undertaking a prayatna, an effort to understand this self and know this self, actually it's a blessing for everybody. Not only you got moksha, you have given them moksha from you. Very nice. They don't have to deal with you in the same way. This is a fantastic thing. Next one. Atma doesn't do anything. Correct. Does the Jiva do? How Jiva identifies itself with the body? Is Jiva an entity or is it as though? Only God can know God. Oh, that's a different question. Okay, let's do this one first. Okay, Atma doesn't do anything. Yes, you are correct. Atma is a non doer. Just like the story of the two birds, who is doing? The Jiva bird is doing. The bird that has disengaged itself, disconnected itself from Ishwaratvam, thinks that it is the doer and keeps on doing. Jiva, so the Jiva does. The Jiva also, what does the Jiva do? The Jiva does out of a sense of Atma Ajnanam. That is the cause. Atma Ajnanam does. So, how does the Jiva identify itself with the body? In three ways. By birth itself, there is an identification. So, if somebody pinches you, the person sitting next to you will not say ouch. Who will say ouch? You will say ouch. There is a sahaja tadatmya. Sahaja tadatmya means a natural born connection to this body. Otherwise, we would be leaving body parts all over the place. Yeah, we won't even know if the hand got cut off and got left behind. We would be very careless. Now it is leaving things behind is confined to bag, keys, and water bottle. That's okay, you know. But if there was no sensation and then this feeling of belonging is not there to this body, then there's hand can get cut off, leg can get caught and cut off, and we'll be leaving body parts behind. And then people will say, whose leg is this? Whose hand is this? You have to do that. Lost and found for all the limbs. So this has to be seen that this tadatmya, this identification with the body, which is that everybody has an identification with that body, which is God-made identification, Ishvara Srishti. Another kind of identification is there. Identification we are born of karma, karmic identification. Why, why was I born in this family? Karma. Karmaja tadatmya. Why this parentage? Why these kinds of issues? All these are karmaja tadatmya. Also Ishvara Srishti. Then the last form of identification is born of delusion, mohajam or bhrantija tadatmya, born of bhranti. Ishvara Srishti? No? Jiva Srishti. Your own doing. One's own doing it is. Jiva Srishti means one's own making, one's own delusion. Delusion is the prasada of what? Of Atma Ajnanam, self-ignorance. So that's how the Jiva identifies with the body, first because of Atma Ajnanam and then because of these three kinds of identification. Is Jiva an entity? As though. Okay. It is as though. So only God can know God. Can we know God? Yes, because you are God. So God can know God. So no problem here. Next one. My son, 30 years old, had some spiritual awakening 6 years back and started to call himself God. The doctors said bipolar. He was normal in 2 weeks, within 2 weeks. He got married 3 years back and his wife knew about the background. He had a similar episode 4 months back and told his wife and in laws that he received some adesh from God. He is okay after 2 months again. Now, the problem is with his in-laws who believe bipolar is not curable, which my son rejects. His IQ is about 120 and he is highly creative and has read lot of books on spirituality and God. He doesn't care about his marriage or his consumers. I can't read that one word. And his life is an open book with his wife and in-laws. What should we do as parents? Study more Vedanta. That is the best thing to do for everybody. Bipolar disorder cannot be cured. Maybe it can be, I don't know. But as far as I know, it is managed. It is managed through medication. And the patients do not like to take the medication because of side effects, which are difficult to bear. That is one reason they do not like to take the medication. The second reason they don't like to take the medication is once they start taking the medication, they feel better and they feel everything is okay. So they will stop. And then again, the symptoms may come back, and the symptoms include this kind of a grandiose ideas, and then followed by a a manic episode, followed by a depressive episode of hopelessness, etc. So it's a little bit of a difficult karma to manage. But there are a lot of things going in his way. What is that? The highly creative, high IQ, which is a great blessing. And as parents, you can encourage him to take one day at a time. Because usually, with this kind of a condition, if that is indeed the diagnosis, we don't know, but if that is indeed the correct diagnosis, with this kind of a condition, it's like an all or nothing thinking, which in psychological parlance is called black and white thinking. It's either I do everything or I don't do anything at all. Such people must be encouraged to be more in the middle. The Buddha talks about this a lot. This is also Hindu Dharma also. Buddha talks about it, Hindu Dharma talks about it. It's all about moderation. Rather than, so encourage the life to be a moderate life. Talk to the in-laws, talk to the wife, the daughter-in-law, and then do whatever you can do in the house to keep everything kind of not dramatic. There is a routine, and everybody needs a routine. And people with bipolar, they thrive in routine even though they resist it completely. They thrive in the routine. And so make the house in such a way that there is calm, there is no pressure at all, and there is very little drama. Because even when they go through the dramatic periods, they are in pain. They don't like to go through that. And so, if the atmosphere is inviting, quiet, then it is easier. Teach them how to meditate. Even if they cannot sit, let them do Om. What is Om? OMM, 1 minute meditation. Yeah. 1 minute at a time. Just sit. You can do anything for 1 minute at a time. Sit. Sit for 1 minute at a time. Tell them also to sit for 1 minute at a time. Even the most anxious person can be made to sit for 1 minute at a time. In slow increments, we help the person to see the truth. Not the truth as in Satchit Ananda, but the truth as in this is the reality. This is where you are right now. And so, and then for the creative energy, encourage them to have some outlets that are good for them. Again, that are calm, good outlets. And so, where they can expend that creative energy by helping people or whatever they want to do, and then they can continue to thrive one day at a time. We can all use this advice, one day at a time. Apyayantu Shanti Mantra. Do we need to chant in one breath as per the Vedic chanting strict rules? Please don't do that. Yeah. Nobody should become blue when chanting Shanti Mantra. Not good for your studies. Okay? Yeah. Please don't do that. But there are tricks. But this has full stops. This one has full stops. It's Rudram that doesn't, has never seen the meaning of the word full stop. Yeah. But there are tricks. You can stop before the vowel a. Then it becomes an alankara. Namaste astu bhagavan. Of course, you don't need to stop there. That was not a correct example, but it's the example where the a follows. You see those, what are those brothers that became very famous? Yeah, you'll see before every they will take a nice long breath when no one is looking. Yeah, it becomes it's a kind of an alankara. And then you can stop after um, after bhyo, namo namo. Some bhyaha will come. Kirike vah kirike bhyo devanagam. Like this. So after bhyaha, you can take a little breath because you had already used your mahaprana. Bhyaha, you have to breathe over it, and there's no air in the lung. You feel like you're, going to Swarga, and then immediately, because you're doing a punya karma, okay? That's why Swarga. So immediately you take a deep breath there when no one is looking. There are some tricks, okay? So, but apyayantu, you're okay because it has a lot of full stops. And if you want more stops, you go for it, okay? What is not allowed is coffee breaks in between the chant. Yeah. Unauthorized tea breaks. That is not allowed. Kindly throw light on the doctrine of the concept of Eka Jiva Vada. How it is related to Drishti Srishti Vada. I think we should spare the people this, okay? Yeah. So when we finish this camp, we will do this one particular question, and then we often hear that nothing happens without God's will. Similar statement is found in Gita, 1861. Ishvara sarva bhutanam, that one. Hriddeshe Arjuna tishtati, Brahmayan sarva bhutani, yantrarudhani, mayaya. Then how much free will the human being has? Good morning, I have to say to the writer of this question. Good morning, because we are waking up. In the beginning of this quest and before this quest, what is there is a lot of options, options and options and options and options. So many options are there. I can do this, I can do that, I can become this, I can become that. And the more you know, the options become fewer and fewer and fewer. Why? Because we know the problem is what? Atma Ajnanam. The solution is what? Atma Jnanam. And what is this free will other than a headache? That's all it is. It's a big headache. And also the free will, what we call free will, and then people contrast it with what we call destiny. Destiny versus free will. This is an eternal battle. But really speaking, it's not that complicated. What is prarabdha? Prarabdha karma, called destiny by many people. What is prarabdha karma? That was the exercise of your free will in other lives. That is prarabdha karma. If you exercise the free will for the sake of righteous actions and to help everybody, then you get punya this life. If you exercise the free will, if you abuse the free will if you have abused the free will, if we have done that or hurt somebody in our previous life, then what? Then we encounter papa. Papa and punya is also free will from another life. That's really what it is. So you can take everything as free will, or you can say everything is Ishvara. Free will is also what? Ishvara. In the 7th chapter, Bhagavan declares, I am in the form of desire. Free will means will to desire. I am that who is in the form of desire. What kind of desire? Dharma aviruddha kamosmi bharatarshabha. I am the desire that is not averse to dharma, that is in keeping with dharma. That kind of a desire am I. What about the desire to rob a bank? That's on you. That's on you. That's not Bhagavan. Okay? Yeah, that's so. The free will is not really free. Free will isn't free because it is bound up in all the ragadveshas. So, for the free will to be free, we have to pray. Prayer is a form where the will is free, or any kind of reaching out, helping actions when you do. You don't have to do them, then the will is free. Okay? Yeah. What else? There was one thing from the first question where it said, I suddenly remembered, I hadn't responded to that, where it said other religions are more community oriented. Other religions, our tradition is also very community oriented. It's not that everybody is walking around in orange, sitting in ashrams. No. If you look at prayers and shreyas, how many people for prayers? Most of the people. Community oriented and wanting to be with the community also. Shreyas, one or two few people, accidental tourists. That's all. So, our tradition is also community oriented. We are done today. Done early. Extra time to sleep. So, this one I will save because this is a technical question, more pertinent to the 3-month course.
Swami, you said that 1 minute meditation.
1 minute meditation.
Swami
Yeah.
Vivekananda also said the same thing.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah.
He said that you can just 1 minute meditation, but with a complete focus on it, that will suffice. His words.
Yeah. And then when you master 1 minute, don't say, okay, from tomorrow I'll do 48 minutes. It won't work. Oh, so from tomorrow I'll do 2 minutes. No, you do 1 minute twice. Then you do 1 minute 3 times. Then you do 1 minute 4 times. Don't worry about increments because the ahankara is averse to that, resistant to that. So we must not set ourselves up to fail. So what do we tell? We say 1 minute now, 1 minute later. No problem. Then the mind will cooperate. Distractions will be less. Anything else? ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते शान्तिः शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः